Okay, YouTubers, it's been a while since you've heard from me, and I'm going to get back at it. Start producing videos and stuff, and showing you things, and all the crazy projects and crap I keep going. Right here, what you're looking at is a cort effector guitar. Right there. And I've had this guitar for years. It's been in storage. Basically, I bought it, put it in storage, and then forgot about it. And these guitars, the necks are made of plastic, and the bodies were of laminated wood. Questionable on that. What's even more questionable is the tremolos that they had on these. They were bad about breaking right here, and sometimes in the back. Now, what I've done to this thing, also another neat effect about this, I'll get back to that, is that they had built-in effects, and you can see, well, where is it at? Let me read it. All right, the light would come on, that'd show the battery. There would phase, normal effects, delay, vibrato, wah, chorus, and distortion, and of course volume, tone, and speed. Now on this one, which all the effects was underneath that little bucket right there, and that's where the batteries, two 9-volt batteries, fit in there, is that the pots, or the volume and tone and the speed, they all locked up. They were very cheap quality stuff, and they fell apart. So basically everything that was underneath here I removed. I unscrewed it, clipped a few wires, and just took it out completely. I put a new volume pot in here and got it in. Now tone is really not needed, but I took one of the old locked up ones, and you see it doesn't turn, and I put the top back on it just to kind of pretty it up. And then right here I did a switch up for my a three-way switch for my two humbucking pickups, and I soldered all that in. Now, trying to figure out on what to do on my tremolo right here, because the back piece had bent in where the springs are, and so it would kick the tail up, and these strings would go way high on the fretboard. I really had no way to work with this. Specific to this design, there's a hole underneath here, so I just thought I'll pull that out, and I made this little stainless steel piece right here. And I got to get longer screws. That's the reason why I got it out in the shop. And that will keep this tailpiece from kicking up. Now it's just going to be just a standard plain guitar with no vibrato on it now. But that would be a way, if anybody's got any of these cort effectors out there, to kind of reuse them. Cort builds pretty good guitars, and I've had a couple people tell me that they were very questionable. It's got a neat blue sunburst, the fade from the black to the blue. I like the color. It'll just be a practice guitar when I get done with this. Right now, I machined this piece of stainless steel using my old bench grinder right there. And when I got done, I used Scotch Brite, and I would clean that up. But I'm going to use a little bit longer screws. I was testing this out earlier, and I tightened these up, and it will start to pull this. So I'm going to have to use a little bit longer and better screws and get this down in there. But you got to come up with ideas to fix problems, and that's what I'm doing with this guitar, to kind of raise it back from the dead. But underneath that panel right there is where I soldered all the wires together. You got to run a ground to anything that touches a string and it's metal. I mean, this one still has the fine tuners right here, but it had a line lock right up here, which is different than the new ones. The new ones, they get rid of the nut, and they put the line lock at the nut. This one had a machine piece, and you can see two little screw holes right there on either side of the adjuster. And it had a wedge-shaped piece, and it fit just on this side of the nut. The problem is with it, it had a step down, so once you tighten that nut, your string tuning was out. and that was a problem. So I removed it. I really don't need a line lock when I don't have a tremolo now. And so this one is just going to be a fancy, tailstock. I couldn't find one that was going to cover the hole that I have that's drilled underneath here, or not drilled, routed. So that's where I'm at right now on that. So the vibrato is going to be stationary, and then this will keep it from kicking up and moving. You can see how I notched it to be able to get to the strings. The problem is I was trying earlier. Now that I'm going to be working on it, I still couldn't get to these two. So I may have to notch it just a little bit more. I got the grinder over there, I could do that. But as long as I got enough sticking out right there that'll cover that tailpiece, I'll be good. But that's my cort effector. I'll get it back to where I can play it again, and it'll just be a practice guitar. And but if any of y'all have anything similar like that, that's what you can do to fix something like that. Alrighty, y'all have a good one, and take care.